Okay, so one common sourcing challenge that a lot of recruiters face is they put an initial search to look for candidates, and then when they change their search, some of the candidates that they come up and see in that second search, they've already seen in the first search. And then if they were to change up that second search, they're seeing candidates that they saw in the first two searches, and eventually gets to a point where um, any search that you put in, or a lot of the searches that you put in, there's just like a ton of overlap with people that you already saw, and you struggle to figure out how to continue sourcing without just seeing a big portion of those same people over and over again. Well, on LinkedIn through projects, there's a cool trick that you can do to basically exclude people that you've already seen. And these don't have to be people whose profiles you've looked at or clicked into. They don't have to be people you've messaged. They can be everyone. So I'm going to dive in and show what that looks like. It's actually pretty easy to do once you get the hang of it. You can do it basically without thinking. Takes maybe a try or two to get used to it, but I'm going to dive right in and show what I mean. Okay, so I'm going to give this a second just to make sure you can see my screen. But okay, so what I've got here, the specifics of the search don't really matter for purposes of what I'm trying to show. But let's just assume I'm looking for a business analyst in Charlotte area. And so this is the first search that I put in. Again, specifics don't really matter. So normally when I would source, I would go through this page and decide who I like, and I can do whatever I want with the ones that I like. What I typically do is just send them a message directly. So let's assume that I go through this whole page and these are the 5 people that I've determined I want to send a message to. I'd go up here, I'd click message, search for a template, and send a message to everyone. I would do that normally the way that I used to do that before showing what I'm about to show. So after doing that, after sending a message to the people that you want to message, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click select all. I'm going to save the project, and I'm going to call this project, you can name this whatever you want, but I'm going to call it Charlotte BA's Already Seen. So what I've done here is I've created a project full of the Charlotte business analysts that I've already gone through. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add into that project. So when you first start using projects, it'll be in the bottom right-hand column right here. But once you start using it, it'll switch over to the left-hand column. But I'm going to search for this project now. I'm going to add that in, and now I'm actually going to exclude it. So what this is doing is it's going to remove everyone that I put in this project. In this case, everyone that I put in this project is the candidates I've already gone through. So when I click search, it should automatically refresh, and it's going to reduce the total number by people that I've already put in that project. So this new page, I'd go down to find the ones that I'd like to message, or I'd like to message. If you put people in a project instead of message them, that's fine as well. But I go through this page. Let's assume that these are the 4 people I want to message. I do what I normally do, which is I send them a message. I then click select all, save the project, and again, I would add them to that project full of people that I've already seen. So now if I were to change up my search, so let's assume for whatever reason I didn't like this search, or perhaps I wanted to make sure candidates had Agile or Scrum experience. When I put in this new search, so long as I have excluded the people I've already seen through this project, I'm not going to get any overlap with those people. And so I can start to go through this new search knowing that I'm not going to have a redundancy of efforts. I'm going through people that I've already looked at. So again, could go through here, find the people that I like. Let's assume these are the 3 that I like after going through the whole page. Send them a message, select all, save the project. Okay. A couple caveats or just things to note. Instead of, after I go through this first page, instead of clicking page 2 to see a whole new set of candidates, I would just click refresh. And the reason is if I were to click page 2, what essentially happens is the people that were on page 2 actually shift to page 1. So again, instead of clicking page 2, just going to click refresh, and when I refresh, it'll remove those people that I put into the project. One other thing I'll just note, sometimes there can be a few second delay, so you may find that there's one or two stragglers of people who you already saw. If that's the case, if you just refresh them, so like this guy, I already saw he wasn't excluded even though he should have been, but I bet you if I click refresh, he's probably not there anymore. Okay, perfect. And again, even you don't have to refresh again in that sense, because there's typically going to only be one or two stragglers, and it's not going to be too time consuming. Okay. Just to reiterate, the reason that this is so helpful is you can continue to search deeper and deeper, continue to turn up people that you haven't seen before. You can continue to change up your search in any way you really want, so long as you keep projects excluded here. And if you think about it pragmatically, if you weren't doing this, if you were going 8 searches deep, 5, 6, 7, 8 searches deep, you probably wouldn't ordinarily do that, because on your 5th search, 6th search, it's like 80%, 90% people that you've already looked at. All right, I'll stop belaboring that point. Hope this was helpful. Thanks.